I would like to talk about error code 63 on Noritz recirculating tankless water heater. These are the model numbers that we have, but you may have a different model number, but similarly equipped water heater. This water heater has a recirculating function, which means that you have a separate circuit where the water is circulating around your supply system so that when you turn on the water will be hot instead of have to wait for the water to go through the entire system. Okay, so we had this installed about a year and a half ago, and we never had problems, but recently it's throwing error code 63. So I did some research. Initially, according to the manual, you have to bleed the system, meaning that let the water out and let the water in and let the air out after your initial installation. So in this manual says trial operation, you have to bleed the air out, and if you don't do that, you have this error code 63. Which means that there's something wrong with your recirculating system. And if I turn the recirculating off, the error does not appear. So this is a recirculation circuit problem, not a problem with the main cold water in and hot water out operation. In other words, there's something wrong with the recirculating circuit. So I tried bleeding the air out myself according to the instruction, and also I did Noritz YouTube instruction videos. It doesn't really work. The error code 63 still appears. I eventually called the installer. They have to charge me for repairing it. Of course, they come, they did the bleeding, error code 63 still appears. Eventually, they said, we had a problem with the motherboard. It's a known issue for Noritz. Of course, this Noritz is still on the warranty. However, they do not cover installation of the motherboard. So the whole cost of this installation is a little bit over $600. The point I'm trying to make is that Noritz should have made some kind of a special video or change the instruction to indicate that the error code 63 could be the cause of the motherboard, instead of just let people hunting for the reason. And if the plumber is not familiar with this particular water heater, you will not be able to figure out what the problem is. They have to call the customer service and do detailed diagnosis, which a non-plumber or non-installer may not be able to perform by yourself. To me, this is really a bad customer service, and then they should have to do a recall and pay for that $600 because it's happening all the time according to the installer. But I'm just through this in so that if you have a 63 error for this particular Noritz recirculating, it's called NRCR, CR standing for recirculating, I guess, problem, please be aware that the motherboard has to be changed. So eventually we changed the motherboard and everything seems to working now. The other thing I'd like to just tell you, in case you're shopping for a new water heater tankless water heater, that this recirculating pump is extremely loud. The installer stated that the better option is to just do a regular tankless water heater from Noritz and install an external pump by yourself if you need to do the recirculating water heating system. Of course, this just looks bad on Noritz, even though everybody said they have a good system. If you have a motherboard that known to be, getting to this kind of problem, you should probably do a recall and change the motherboard of all the system so that, and then notify all the customers so that people don't hunt around for the reason for these error code and try to bleed air out from the system, which doesn't do anything. So this whole change of the motherboard costs about $600. And if you have a home warranty, they should cover that. However, my home warranty refused to cover that because they think the bleeding air is a quote-unquote maintenance issue, which is not a maintenance issue. So we have to have this resolved. And if you take them to small claim court, believe me, you will win. Just have the installer or the person fix the motherboard and write in a statement saying this is really a not maintenance issue. Even though the problem is just to bleed air out, it itself is not a maintenance issue. A maintenance issue is an issue for descaling or things like that sort, not for bleeding the air out. Because this procedure should be done during the installation process. If that happens again, something wrong with the system. Maybe the air got trapped in there for some reason, but that's not a maintenance issue. This is a repair. Hope this helps.